Good afternoon, GRCSU. Welcome to another wonderful Wednesday with Coffee and Coaches. And we have with us another amazing guest. And for those of you that don't know our guest, Raylene Carangio is third grade teacher at Wells Village School. And she is here to talk to us today about Canva. So Raylene, for those that don't know what Canva is, could you maybe just do a quick description of what it is?
Sure. Let me think. What is a good description of Canva? It is a free online program. There is a paid subscription you can join as well if you want to, but you definitely don't have to. You can design all kinds. It's a design space. So you can design so many different things. And I have found it really helpful for my classroom, just for, a variety of things I use for class. And I'm excited to show everyone a few things.
Awesome. Let's see what you've got.
Okay, I will try to present my screen. Let's see how this goes. So sharing my screen. I feel free to jump in because I am not sure I will be able to see you while I am presenting my screen. So I will just walk everyone through a few things that I am working on Canva. So just let me know, are you guys able to see my screen now?
We are.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So let me just show you a few things that I have been working on. I know we are specifically going to highlight a couple things, but there are so many things that you can do on here. It's really amazing. So I have used this program for making all different kinds of flyers, things I've hung up in my classroom, like mask reminders, movement break things for our hallway, some charts for specific students. I really like making things like scavenger hunts or any kind of handouts. I can't find something that works, just right for my class. I just like to make it on here. You are also able to make Jamboards. So they have Jamboard templates and you can play around with those as well. And let me show you a few specific things I am really excited about. So you can make your own Google Classroom header, which is really, really nice. All you have to do is go all the way up to the top and just search Google Classroom header. I have tried to sort of theme these so you can use them in your Google Classroom, but they also work really, really well in Google Forms. So these are just the right size for Google Forms. So I've made all of my social studies ones look the same, and then I've just changed maybe this part depending on what topic we're working on. And same goes for any ELA things. I have just changed those. Here's another one I was playing around with. And this is what all of my math ones look like. And then I just changed this multiplication. I've added if it's 1s, 2s, 3s, or something like that. Also made, obviously, some nice little handouts for things I've sent the students home with. But I know the thing we wanted to specifically talk about was an email header. I know you don't need an email header, but it is just really fun. I'll be very honest. I saw this design on TikTok and I didn't know it was something that you could make until then. So I made this and I love it. And then my students all got very curious about this, and it created a really nice opportunity for us to practice some tech skills with designing their own email headers. So students have worked on this as well. And we have used that in our email and then taken it from that to even making posters and things for other types of projects. So that's kind of a quick overview. Is there something that specifically you wanted me to talk about or share some information on?
Those are all really awesome. I never knew you could do so many things. Now I know how you did those Jamboards for Wells. I was trying to figure that out and I couldn't. I didn't realize you used Canva. That is really cool.
Yeah. There are some other, there are definitely some other programs like, I think it's like Slide Carnival and things like that have templates that you can use for Google Slides as well as Jamboards. But I've just really liked Canva for the ability to manipulate things on there. It makes things look, I feel like, a very fancy, but also it is very simple to use. And that's what's so nice about it is I feel like the graphics and everything are really nice, like a high quality without it being particularly difficult to use. The students have had a lot of success with it.
That was one of the things I was going to ask was, is it to learn how to use Canva? Is it going to be one more thing that I like? So many teachers are so overwhelmed and have so much on their plates right now. Is it really just that one more thing that I've got to learn and try to deal with? Or is it that thing that takes a few minutes, but it's going to make my life simpler in the long run?
I think it is a really engaging way to work on tech skills with students. Using the email headers is pretty simple. It created a lot of really good conversations. They were curious about it, so we got on, and you've even come into our classroom. We've then sort of used that as a great jumping off point for digital citizenship, because we've had to have some conversations about what is and is not appropriate in an email header. What would you want to represent yourself in your email header? What pictures are and are not appropriate, even if they're cartoons, things like that. So that's been sort of a good jumping off point for those type of conversations. And it also really got them a lot more engaged in sending emails. They're very excited to send emails and have everyone see that, as well as just sort of practicing, even going in and adding it in your email settings. And from there, now I have given them the opportunity sometimes to explore Canva, and we've used it to make infographics, and we're working on biographies right now. So I see them creating some really cool posters with that, and I find Canva pretty easy to use. So it's just a really engaging way to get them, involved in their learning.
That's awesome.
So Raylene, I know that Canva has, you can upgrade to an educator account for free, and your students can as well. Are your students associated with your account? Like, can you monitor them or go in and see what they're working on?
So they have signed up through their school email accounts. I monitor by just working. Well, first of all, we have Dino, so that's been very helpful while they're all working individually. But it is one of those sort of activities where I could log in and take a look if I needed to, but I mostly just work on engaging with all of them in person, just seeing what they're working on there. And we really haven't had any particular issues with it so far. But like I said, if and when you do, it is always a really good, hopefully you don't, but we've had some really good opportunities for digital citizenship conversations this year, because we are just using the computer for so many things, so much this year.
So with that, with the education account, you can also assign things to certain students, right? Can you send out an assignment and they can all work on? I think I saw something about that. Do you know anything about how that works?
I don't particularly. I have not done an educator account. This is just one that I set up. I think you can. It would be a really neat opportunity to explore. I know, like Corey said, I have definitely engaged and used Canva, but I'm also trying to walk a balance this year of limiting how many more things I'm trying to teach myself, because I know it's a lot of things to learn this year.
So I wonder, can we go in and create something to show people what it looks like on that end?
What sort of thing do you think you would like to make?
Why don't we create a Jamboard?
Yeah.
Okay. Many teachers are using.
All righty. So let me share my screen again, and I will walk everyone through that. So I welcome any input while we are working on that. Let's see. You should be able to see my screen now, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay. So all you need to do is you can just create a design, and here is where you can search different types of templates. I also love, sometimes I just do custom size based on, something specific I wanted to make. But I think we can just type in Jamboard. And the benefit of this, if anyone hasn't made a Jamboard background yet, is you can design these and then insert them as a background in your Jamboard. So I've done compare and contrast for students, and that way they can't move around that aspect of the Jamboard and they can just use the sticky notes. And I have found that really, really handy. And yeah, I know you saw we did we have digital staff shout outs this year. So that's been really, really nice. What I love about this is you can just leave this blank and add whatever you want, or you can go in and, for example, click on something that seems like it's of interest to you, and you can edit it to your own personal taste and, you know, whatever you need to use it for. The only thing I would sort of advise is you can see when you hover your mouse over something and it says free, that is usually what I click on. If for some reason it doesn't say free, it has a little Canva logo, but I'm very interested in using it, I will add it anyways. And then when you go to download, it wants you to pay for part of it, maybe a graphic or something like that. And you can just take that graphic out and add something else. That is totally fine. So for example, let's see. So I click on this and maybe we were having a discussion about main idea or topic, and you could put some things in here if you wanted, or just take these out. You could put student names here and have each student put Post-it notes, put the little sticky notes in their Jamboard over here. What else? What is something, does anyone have any specific ideas that they're thinking of that they wanted to see in a Jamboard?
Oh, that's cool. I know a lot of the teachers that I work with are trying to find ways for kids to practice math concepts, or to practice like different spelling concepts. So to be able to like move things around on the screen, but keeping the background so that the kids can't move things. So maybe like putting endings on the ends of words, or prefixes and suffixes, those sorts of ideas. Have you done anything like that?
Yeah, you know, I think something like this would be a great thing for prefixes and suffixes, right? You could put the suffix or the prefixes across here and have students be adding their own little sticky notes in here. It is just so easy to edit these, and that's what I love about them. So you could even just, it's really easy to just delete things out of here. And you literally, all you have to do is just click and edit whatever you want to do. You can change the font and all of that. You can completely take this off and add something else if you want. It's just so customizable, and that's what I've really liked about it. So, and as you can see, there are just so many. It is hard to not get a little lost in scrolling through all of these and trying to decide what you want to, you know, play around with an ad. I have worked on, they do have some really cool ones. If you just search, for example, like science or something like that. I have made some really cool life cycle templates where you have just a blank, say like a Post-it or a circle, that then the student could draw each part of the life cycle in and do their own labeling. And that's been really handy as well. Here's a cool one for brainstorming here, and then you could move. I really like this one because everyone could brainstorm and then move some favorite ideas if we were trying to narrow something down here. And of course, like I said, you can just completely take all of this out or edit it however you want. I find it's a lot easier to use than just Google Slides or something like that.
So Raylene, could you share with us how that once you have what you're looking for, how teachers would go about putting that on their Jamboard?
Yeah, absolutely. You just, that little download button right at the top, you just click it and download. Like I said, if for some reason there's a paid graphic, it'll show you right there what that graphic is. You just go back, you could take that out, put something else in if you wanted. I try to stick with the ones that just say free because it's just easier. You don't have to be messing around with trying to find things to take out. You can download them however you want, but for Jamboard, you want to download them as a JPEG so you can insert them as a background in Jamboard. So you can download them, and I know you and I were just having this conversation, as like a PNG, and then in theory, you could probably even use it on a Cricut or something like that. You can download things as a PDF, whatever works best for you. I typically download things as a JPEG just because I find it easier. You can then use it in a lot more things. So, and then you just have to insert it as a background.
You can use it in your Google Slides too.
Same exact concept. Just insert it as a background. You could make it in a Google Slides, like the standard size. I typically edit my Google Slides to be the size of a regular piece of paper. That way, if I wanted to print those slides out, for example, on Monday, I was able to assign a digital copy, and then I just did a second page for each thing and made it like a paper version with lines on it. So students could, it gives you a chance for some differentiation. Students could then write that at home as opposed to doing it digitally. And the nice thing about having it as a background on any of those programs is then the students can't move that part of the slide or the Jamboard around, which is really helpful. So yeah, I mean, I know I talked really fast. That's kind of Canva in a nutshell, but does anyone else have any questions?
No more questions?
Not a question, but back when I was in the classroom, I had never used Canva with students, and now I wish I had, because I think there are some great opportunities. But we implemented badging in my classroom. And so I actually designed all of my badges in Canva. And then I was able to convert them into the file that was needed in Tinkercad to then 3D print them. So you can use Canva for designing quite a bit.
It's really amazing. And like I said, there's so many things you can do. And I have found that it is one of those things that is really fairly easy to navigate yourself. And there are a lot of really nice resources out there. Like I said, I am a shameless teacher TikToker. I love watching really short. It's helpful to watch really short videos. There are a million about Canva. Here's how you make this sort of thing. And it just walks you through that one thing to do really quickly. And that's how I've learned to do some things, the same as, there's some amazing YouTube. I'm a big visual learner, so I love to sort of watch those short videos about how to make things. And that's how I've learned how to navigate Canva. So
is there a particular person that you follow on TikTok?
Oh my goodness. I don't even, off the top of my head, I can't even think of anyone. But there are a million, and there are some people that just specifically do, digital tech tips and things like that. And you can even just search the same as you can in Canva or anywhere else. I'm a lover of searching specific hashtags if I'm trying to find an answer to something. So I just look up like digital tips, digital tech tips, Google slide tips, something like that. And that's how I typically find the answer I'm looking for.
I think that's great. I think, Raylene, we're going to have you come back at some point to talk about how to use TikTok as a teacher.
I don't know about that. Maybe how I waste time is what you mean? No, definitely not. But it is, like I said, it's something like that. There is, and I know I teach third grade, but I'm sure there is a value for particularly older students with that. I've seen some really great ones that are short little history lessons or little snippets, and it's, I think, a really engaging way to get students more involved in their learning. I know I hear the songs in class all the time, so I know they know what it is. So I don't know if third grade we're quite ready for that yet, though.
Al, were you going to say something?
I was kind of wondering, when you were in there making up the background, we went through all the stock images, but I'm wondering, if you have your own images, can you upload them, use them in your backgrounds, rearrange them however you want, combine things?
Yep, absolutely. Let me see if I can find one really quickly that I could show you before we go, because it was very cute. It was something I saw. I want to say it was one of those Pinterest or Instagram kind of things. And I thought, this is something I really need to do for my class this year. And it was way back at the beginning of the year. So let me see if I can find it. All right. So I have one more thing to show you, and then I'll let everyone get on with their day. But it's just very cute. So you have to see it. All right. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Okay.
I think it's loading. I was going to say, so I wanted to make some cute little signs about masking up. And this is my dog, Lucy, who very kindly tolerated some mask wearing for this photo shoot. And so what I did here is I took these pictures at home. I did use a background removing program. So you just upload it to take the background out, just because I liked the aesthetic of that, but you don't have to. And all I needed to do was just click upload here, and I uploaded these images, and I want to say this was some sort of graphic that was step 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just like the color and the layout. So it can, you can just pick whatever you think. Oh, see right here, like this hand washing, and I just changed the colors of it. And then just inserted those pictures. So we have that outside our classroom. I thought that was really kind of cute. So that part is pretty easy. You just need to click upload.
Fantastic.
Plus you guys get to see Lucy. So really, what a great note to
Oh,
end
yeah.
on.
She's pretty cute. Well, Raylene, you've done a really great job with taking the things that interest your students and taking ideas and things that you see someplace else and creating them with Canva so that it represents a true meaning of what your classroom's all about and their interest, which is what I love to see. My office just happens to be right next to Raylene's classroom. So I get to see all of the amazingness that changes all the time.
Yeah, it's been great. I think you all saw that really quick Spanish one that I made of the colors, and our plan with that is we did some Among Us characters around the holidays. So what we're going to do next is take the entire class's deep love of Among Us and use that just for a little bit of practice with colors in Spanish, and they get super into that stuff. It's really a nice opportunity, and I can just upload the images into here, and they're going to probably design them in Canva, or I can print them out and then they can color them in class.
And thinking is such a great way to do project-based learning or proficiency-based learning too, right? Because they can create this way. If they have such a love of creating this way, it gives them such an amazing opportunity. They're so creative. And 2 of your students, if I remember correctly, are they using Canva for their book that they're making?
Yeah, everyone's using it for both. It's a combination of Canva and WeVideo, because you've kindly come in and now all of the students have figured out how to use the collaborative tool in WeVideo. So they've been making things in Canva, designing book covers and things like that, and then uploading them into WeVideo, working on narrating them. We also still love just hand drawing books. We have an entire student-made classroom library at this point, mostly focused on Among Us and Baby Yoda this year. So yeah, they love doing that stuff. And it's a really great learning opportunity.
It taught me because I had no idea what Among Us was until they all very clearly explained that to me.
I keep trying. I'm trying. It's not my thing, but I love that they're engaged in it. We'll use it for some narrative writing, so I could be fine with that.
Perfect. Well, does anybody have anything else? Any other comments, questions?
I just think in a year where so much of our classroom is online, it's nice to have tools like this available to help us personalize our online spaces for our students.
Yeah, I think there is a lot to be said. I know we were talking about that before we went live, that in my classroom and our classroom is online so much, some of that might not, at times I feel guilty that it's maybe not so academically focused, but it's stuff that you need to look at all day, every day in your classroom and on the computer. And I think there's a lot of value in making sure that it's a place you really enjoy looking at. It's a place I obviously want to be, but it is also really nice to just have things be aesthetically pleasing and I like what I see. So
yeah, I think it helps that whole social emotional piece, right? If you're comfortable, that's like number one thing, right? You're building comfort in your classroom, feeling safe and feeling a sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Well,
Great.
thank you everyone for this opportunity. If anyone does have any questions or is curious about anything, they are always welcome to just email me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. And we will see you not next week, because hopefully we will all be taking a much needed restful break, and we will see you the week after. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.